Governor Kathy Hochul was booed not once, not twice, but at least 3 times at the Ryder Cup. Now, the best part of all of this is the Ryder Cup is in New York, so she was booed in her own home state, where supposedly she's super popular, but if the crowd at Ryder Cup has anything to say about it, well, she may not get another term.
You're the worst!
Governor, all right. Relax. Keep it going for New York. Your friend and mine in attendance, Governor Kathy Hochul. Governor, thank you so much for being here. And thank you to your team, too, for getting us ready for the Ryder Cup in New York.
I would like to say a few thank yous to Governor of State New York, Kathy Hochul.
As we prepare to tee it up on Friday, I want to thank the people who made this journey possible. To Governor Hochul, to the teams of New York, to the teams of the New York State Parks.
Woo, you just gotta love it. Now, to be clear, Governor Kathy Hochul can run for governor again, and by all accounts intends to run for re-election in 2026. But there are rumors that perhaps Republican Elise Stefanik will challenge her for that role. And if this reaction is any indication, well, Elise Stefanik may very well be the next governor of New York, and a red one at that. Well, politics can be heavy, frustrating, if not demoralizing. So all of the stories in today's video were chosen to hopefully be uplifting or humorous. And if you're on the right side of the aisle, I hope that that first clip of Kathy Hochul being booed made you feel warm and tingly inside. Well, today at the White House, they unveiled the Presidential Walk of Fame. It's, I guess, sort of similar to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you know, where they have the stars on the ground, but this time it's presidential portraits. And you'll notice it's outside. You can see all the presidents lined up: Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton. Well, there's George Bush. That was HW. Here's Barack Obama, President Trump, 45. And then, oh, take a look at what they put in place for Joe Biden. The auto pen. You just gotta love it. President Trump is the master troller, does have a sense of humor, so a lot of people saw that, thought that was hilarious. Another notable moment that happened today was JD Vance was touring the country, and he was giving a speech, taking questions from the press. Well, he noticed a young boy vigorously waving his arms, trying to get his attention, and you just gotta love unscripted moments like this.
Young man, this is a very earnest young man. He doesn't look like a journalist to me, but go ahead and shout out a question, because I'm not going to deny that level of energy and that level of passion. First of all, what's your name?
Henry.
Henry. It's good to meet you, Henry. Ask your question, please.
I skipped school today. I was wondering if I could get a picture with you.
Henry said, I skipped school. Can I have a picture with you? Well, I guess you got to have some excuse to skip school, so I might as well get a photo with Henry.
Just an awesome moment. I love when our leaders take time, especially for children. It just is really cool to see young ones so involved and engaged in civil discourse and being really interested in politics and how government works. Well, on top of all of that, I don't know if you noticed, the crowd was really diverse. The media, the Democrats always say that it's only old white people who go to conservative events, but if you took a look at that, there were people of all age ranges, people from all ethnic backgrounds. I thought that really showcased the true diversity of America, the true big tent diversity of the Republican Party and Trump's MAGA movement. It's not as whitewashed as the Democrats and the mainstream media would have you believe. Unlike the Democrats, this is organic diversity, not forced diversity. Well, you may have also heard that James Comey is now facing imminent indictment. So the statute of limitations for the charges against him actually would expire next week. So this new indictment charge would come right in the nick of time, right before the statute of limitations expires. And over on MSNBC, they were having a full-blown meltdown that people are celebrating the imminent indictment.
What the allegations are.
So we're seeing reaction online. There's reaction from one MAGA account with 1.3 million followers saying this is exactly what I voted for. Also, dear James Comey, retribution is coming, TikTok. And then they post sincerely 77 plus million MAGA patriots. How is this different, the way that Donald Trump has influenced or set up his Department of Justice this time around, Carol, compared to the last term?
You know, I'm so glad you asked because I find it absolutely riveting to watch.
Of course, the Democrats and the media are going to cry and scream that it's revenge, that it's retribution, it's political persecution. But as we all know, it's just holding, hey, if you guys are going to hold one side of the aisle to a standard, then, hey, let's have that standard on both sides. If you're going to raid the home of a former official, then we're going to raid the home of a former official. A lot of Republicans warned against this back when the Democrats were really going after President Trump, leaving no stone unturned. In fact, in New York, right, they changed the laws, they changed the statute of limitations so they could go after New York on these crazy charges, which, you know, when you take a look at the facts or the claims, none of them even lined up, right? In the case of E. Jean Carroll, one of the greatest examples was she went on a photo shoot and wore an outfit and she said, this is what I wore when President Trump assaulted me. Well, it turned out that piece of clothing wasn't even manufactured until years after she claimed the incident took place. So it just didn't line up there. So this isn't political persecution. Now, Democrats, you've opened the can of worms, and now you have to live with the consequences. And it's not just James Comey, by the way. Apparently, Letitia James is about to be indicted as well.
The same office is expected to charge Tish James, the New York Attorney General, with mortgage fraud. And of course, Donald Trump, we all saw it posted on Truth Social in recent days, exhorting his Attorney General to charge both of those people as soon as possible. But again, you know, this is, grand juries are secret. This is a fluid situation. It's also important to know, though, that the U.S. attorney, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in this office, Eric Siebert, was essentially forced out last week, in part because he was refusing to bring these cases. We're told that he was opposed to prosecuting both James and Comey on these grounds, and he's out.
Don't forget what a grand jury is. It's a group of people, anywhere, I believe, just off the top of my mind, from like 18 to 24 people, and at least 13 have to agree that there's substantial or enough evidence for the case to be prosecuted. So it's a group of your own peers, and it's not one singular person making this decision. And similar to a jury, you know, you want to, when they're composing these grand juries, it's not supposed to be political. So it's not as if, you know, it's filled with all MAGA Republicans, and they're saying, yeah, we're going to go after James Comey. Yeah, we're going to go after Letitia James. No, they're looking at the evidence very specifically and saying, hey, does the federal government have a case here to prosecute? So that's what's happening, and the media, especially the folks over on MSNBC, are just going to have a complete meltdown over it. Well, Joy Reid went on Don Lemon's show, and she just had a meltdown about JD Vance, and she accused him of being the recipient of affirmative action. She accused him of being a DEI hire and a DEI pick when he went to school. And guess what? He ended up responding in an epic way. But before we get into that, I would like to acknowledge Helga Shabalaba Ding Dong, JM, Jay Russo, and TW, aka RIP Charlie Kirk, as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. Don't worry, I'm not going to play this whole clip. I'm not going to subject you to that type of torture, but you'll get the gist of what Joy Reid is saying here.
Smart as I know my ass is, Ketanji Brown is smarter. Smartest person I've ever met in my life. When you smart, I'm smart. That lady is smart on a level I've never seen before. And her 3 roommates were even smarter. These girls were so smart that we were shocked that we'd ever met anybody that intelligent. And Amy Coney Barrett, on the other hand, is a Supreme Court justice just like Ketanji, even though her qualifications are minuscule compared to Ketanji's. Maybe that's the affirmative action we've been getting. White people who are essentially mediocre in scale compared to a black person getting the spot because they wanted a conservative. Maybe the way that JD Vance got into Yale is because they were tired of just letting in white men from New York, from Choate, from all the elite schools, and they wanted an Appalachian white. That's how that man got into Yale, I promise you. Same thing with Ron DeSantis from a small town in Florida. They wanted to just get out of the New York, D.C. matrix, Massachusetts matrix, and let somebody into Harvard and Yale who came from a different place. He came from Florida. Baby, that's also affirmative action and DEI.
There's just one small difference. They didn't change the requirements for them to get into Yale. They didn't change their, like, the standards weren't lowered. That's the whole argument against DEI, is that you are lowering standards. It's no longer merit based, but rather it's based on trying to just fit in whatever demographic is hot or trending, or the tech overlords or the corporate overlords or the woke movement thinks we need to fit in at the moment. That just absolutely makes no sense. But JD Vance, his team actually caught wind of this. He reposted her Twitter with the memeified version of his face. You just gotta love it. And people started sharing memes of JD Vance looking like, you know, an Appalachian white man, or, well, that's how Joy Reid pronounced it, so that's how I said it. But people having fun. Hey, President Trump, king of trolling, king of comedy. JD Vance clearly following in his footsteps. As always, though, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So a lot of talk. We started off with the video of Kathy Hochul getting booed. A lot of talk about Elise Stefanik potentially challenging her for the governorship in New York. If that happens, do you think Stefanik actually stands a chance? Let me know your predictions, your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.